So I'm checking out the IZIP E3 Ultra, which is one of the higher end Curry bikes available. It's $28.99 and it offers a lot of power. This is a 500 watt rear hub motor. It's geared, planetary gears, which means that it's got more moving parts than gearless, but it's a little bit more powerful and maybe it's a little bit lighter this way. The battery is actually built right into the down tube, and the only way to get it out is right under here, which requires kind of a lot of effort and isn't very convenient. The good news is it's protected pretty well, and unlike some other electric bikes where you can open the side of the down tube to get the battery out, this one you don't have to, and I think that makes the frame stiffer, and it allowed them to keep the overall weight of the bike down, possibly the price as well. One thing I did notice though is that you still got some cables running along the outside, and they've integrated a few others. It'd be nice if they kind of integrated them all so you didn't kind of have the wire cable clutter. It's got a nice front fork here. It's a Suntour. It's even got lockout, which is pretty cool. And you'll probably notice the tires here, super narrow. These are pretty high-end tires that are meant to reduce rolling resistance and let this bike really cruise and ride quickly. So that's the primary benefit of this bike. You'll notice there aren't any racks built on it. It hasn't got any fenders. The idea is that you can hop on this thing and you can get going. The battery pack, as I was saying earlier, 10 amp hours, that's a lot of amp hours worth of juice. It's going to take you pretty far. They say 25 to 30 miles. And that's been my experience when riding this bike. It really goes quite the distance, and it goes quickly. It's a pretty good battery, and it's 36 volts. So when you combine the 36 volt battery with the 500 watt motor, you've got a lot of torque and acceleration. And that's all controlled by this interface up here. So if we turn the bike off, and then we turn it on again, there we go. It always starts in pass or pedal assist mode in medium, right? And so you can up that to high, which is kind of what I usually do, or you can switch it to tag, twist and go mode. And twist and go mode, just as it sounds, means that when you twist this, whoop, there we go, the bike actually moves, versus pass, pedal assist, that requires you to actually start pedaling, and the bike senses your input right here with this torque sensor. And I kind of have mixed reviews on the torque sensor because it's a little bit jerkier than some other electric bikes, which have a sensor right here that just detects that, oh yeah, the pedal's going around, we're going to go ahead and kick in some power to support you. This bike actually looks at, are they pushing right now? Is the rider pushing down on that pedal? And if you're not, it kind of cuts out. And so, that's responsive on the one hand, but on the other hand, creates a little bit of jerkiness, which I'll show you later when I'm actually riding around. So again, overall, this bike is designed for performance, and weighing in around 50 pounds, there's just not a lot that's going to slow you down, and it doesn't have the same sort of large car or heavy inertia, floaty feeling that a lot of electric bikes do. It's stiff, it's high performance. So let's check it out. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's 27 speed. We got 3 on the front, 9 on the rear, and they actually come in handy. A lot of electric bikes, they'll only have 1 chain ring up front and maybe like 7 in the rear. And that's not the case here, and that's because, again, this bike is actually designed to be ridden, and you'll notice the positioning even of the seat and the handlebars is a little more aggressive. You're going to be leaning forward a little bit more if you want. And Curry has packed in this adjustable front neck, but I've only been riding this bike for a couple days, and you can see that the handlebars are actually loose, which is dangerous. I adjusted them so they'd be more upright, and I have tightened this. It wasn't moving when I first started riding, but now it is, and so that's something to be careful about. And while we're on the subject, the other things I would upgrade on this bike are the pedals, which the stock ones they're kind of small. Ice cream! And, your foot can slip off of that. It's just, there's not a lot of space for your foot to to grip, and there's rubber here, and if your feet get wet, you know, they can slide off of that. I must say, however, I do like the kickstand. I prefer this over sort of the double prong kickstand that the heavier bikes use. It's just simpler. I mean, as you can see, this looks like a regular bike. You know, I mean, yeah, the middle looks a little bit bigger, but that's kind of it. That's all you really notice. So let's give it a go. Let's get away from these barking dogs. Give it a go. Up with the kickstand. Switching hands. I am in twist and go mode, so I'm going to go ahead and just twist this and let you listen to the bike. Really a lot of acceleration there. I'm going to go ahead and use the brakes. It's Avid BB5 disc brakes, front and rear. There we go. Plenty of stopping power. So as you can see, I mean, we covered a lot of distance there, not pedaling at all, just, you know, using the twist and go throttle. Now I'm going to switch it to the pedal assist mode. There we go, it's in pass mode. I'm going to turn it to high. And now, check this out. I'm going to start pedaling, but listen for that motor. There we go. So it kicked in. Now I'm not pedaling as hard, and it just kind of, it's not there anymore. Now I'm pedaling. Now I'm not. There it is again. Huh. So, to me, what that demonstrates is this bike isn't going to really assist you unless you're pushing hard. So here I am. I'm not really pushing very hard. It's not helping me at all. Then I start pushing. Now it kicks in. And I guess that it kind of depends on what you're looking for in a bike. For me, I guess I kind of like it that I can just pedal, you know, no hands, cruising along, and that it actually helps me. So I don't know, I'm kind of mixed on the torque sensor on this bike. Now we're going to do a hill test. And the motor on this bike is a little bit louder than some, and I think that's just because it's geared. Maybe it's the type of gears that are being used, but it's something I've heard other people discuss as well, and worth demonstrating here for you. Switching back to twist and go. We're going to go up this hill. You can also hear the motor cutting in and out a little bit, and I've got it pulled all the way. There we go. So you can see it made it up just fine. I mean, I only weigh like 135 pounds, so it's not a whole lot for the bike to have to carry. It carries me pretty well, but you can hear it kind of whining a little bit. It's also worth considering that, you know, if you live in a place where you've got steps or, you know, kind of curbs that you might hop up, the design of this frame sort of exposes the battery pack and the down tube to direct contact with rocks and other things. So in this case, you can see I'm trying to go up a curb, and it actually hits the down tube because that sits below the chain ring here and kind of extended forward. And since the battery's in there and the battery's expensive, it's just something to keep in mind as you're riding this around. Now, you may notice these green caps on this electric bike and on others. It's pretty clear, but basically it comes pre-slimed, right? And that's what this says here, which is nice, because when you're on an electric bike, the last thing you want is a flat tire or a fully blown tire where you can't, you know, fill it with air and have it maintained for the rest of your trip because it's heavy and not a lot of fun to walk with. Here we are looking at the computer once more, and I guess, you know, I was a little bit disappointed with this because it doesn't have a speedometer or tripometer, any other real readouts besides the power and assist mode and your battery level, which, you know, it's like, you know, you've got a computer here. It'd be nice if it did a little bit more. And the other thing is, there's no like disconnect clip, so this goes straight into your frame, and that's it. So like, what if your bike falls over, gets vandalized, this computer gets broken, you can't replace it as easily. And the bike comes with a charger here. You just plug it right into your wall, and then there we go. We got the end. Just plugs right into the side of the bike. Just like most electric bikes are this way. It's a little hole. Line up the prongs. There you go. There we go. Plugged in. And one thing I did notice is that sometimes when the bike is really low on batteries, you plug it in and this fan kicks in, and it's actually kind of noisy, which I don't love. There are other electric bike chargers, like this one. There it is. No fan, right? And I guess it's important if you're going to overheat to have a fan, but I guess just kind of a little side note. Now what I'm going to do here is an independent weight test. So I've got this, it's like a luggage scale, goes up to 100 pounds, and I'm going to use it to weigh this bike here. And what it does is locks in like the heaviest weight, so I'm going to do that real quick. Reset. Okay, it locked in at 53.5 pounds, and that's stock out of the box. No add-ons, no water bottle cages or anything. Completely stock, so a little bit heavier than 50 pounds, 53.5. For the full review, including a breakdown on the electronics and batteries and updates, check out ElectricBikeReview.com. Thanks!